You're looking at the most famous face on Earth. She's protected by bulletproof glass, and millions of people come to see her every single year. But the real story of the Mona Lisa isn't just about that smile. Oh no, it's a tale of incredible science, obsession, and a crime. A crime that turned a masterpiece into a global icon.
So what is the real story here? Is it just the smile? Is it the pure genius of Leonardo da Vinci? Or did something else, something totally unexpected, catapult this painting to superstardom? Come on, let's peel back the layers and find out what's really going on behind her fame. You see, the story of the Mona Lisa's global celebrity doesn't actually start in an art studio. Believe it or not, it starts with a crime scene, a theft that would change art history forever. Picture this. It's a quiet Monday morning in 1911. The world wakes up to absolutely shocking news. The Mona Lisa is gone, just vanished from the walls of the Louvre. The spot where she once hung was now just this hauntingly empty space, a ghost on the gallery wall. So who was the mastermind behind this crazy heist? You might be thinking some international art thief, right? Nope. It was a Louvre employee named Vincenzo Peruggia. He was an Italian nationalist who was convinced this masterpiece belonged back home in Italy. And his plan? You're not going to believe how simple it was. He literally just hid in a closet overnight and walked out with it the next morning. Okay, so the theft launched the painting into headlines all over the world. But what was it about this specific portrait that made someone so passionate they would risk everything? To understand that, we need to rewind the clock way, way back, centuries before the crime. All right, first things first, just who is she? For the longest time, her identity was one of art's greatest mysteries. Well, after a ton of historical detective work, historians are pretty certain now. This is Lisa Gherardini. And get this, she wasn't royalty or some mythical figure. She was the wife of a successful silk merchant in Florence. A real woman, about 24 years old when Leonardo started painting her, capturing this perfect moment in the life of Italy's rising merchant class. And what about her names? Well, Mona Lisa actually comes from Madonna Lisa, which is a formal Italian way of saying Madame Lisa. Her other name, La Gioconda, is a fun play on her husband's last name, Giocondo. But here's the beautiful part. Giocondo also means the cheerful one in Italian. How perfect is that? It's like it was meant to be for that famous smile. But, the truth has never gotten in the way of a good story. People have cooked up all sorts of wild theories. They've claimed she was Da Vinci's mother, a secret queen, or, and this is my personal favorite, a disguised self-portrait of Leonardo himself. As fun as those stories are, all the real evidence points straight to one person, Lisa, the merchant's wife. Okay, so we've got her identity locked down. Now for the real magic. That smile. And let me tell you, this wasn't just art. This was the result of Da Vinci's obsessive scientific mind at work. Leonardo basically invented this technique called sfumato, which is Italian for smoky. It's incredible. Instead of using sharp lines, he used these soft, blurred edges, especially around the corners of her mouth and eyes. He blended the tones so gradually that her expression actually seems to shift and change right before your eyes. And to pull this off, Leonardo went to, well, just incredible lengths. See, he wasn't just a painter. He was a scientist, an anatomist. He spent nights in a hospital in Florence, literally dissecting human faces to map out every single muscle and nerve that goes into making a smile. He even compared our facial muscles to a horse's, just trying to figure out the universal mechanics of an expression. And we know this because in his own notebooks, he wrote about the unique complexity of the human mouth. He wasn't just painting a smile, he was reverse engineering it from the inside out. All right, I want you to try something with me right now. Wherever you're watching, look at the painting on your screen, and I want you to focus directly on Mona Lisa's eyes. Don't look anywhere else, just her eyes. So as you're staring at her eyes, something amazing is happening. Your peripheral vision, the part of your eye that sees things off to the side, is picking up those soft, smoky shadows around her mouth. Your brain automatically puts those clues together and interprets it as a clear smile. It's a deliberate optical illusion. Okay, now switch it up. Look directly at her mouth. Go ahead, see what happens? The smile, it practically disappears. The line of her mouth is actually pretty flat when you look right at it. Da Vinci used his insane knowledge of optics to create a smile that only really exists when you're not looking at it. I mean, that is just next level genius.
Right, so you've got an Italian artist, an Italian subject. So what is this quintessential Italian masterpiece doing in a French museum?
Well, how she got to Paris is a whole journey in itself. Back in 1516, the King of France invited an aging Leonardo to come work for him. So Da Vinci packed his bags, and he brought the still unfinished painting with him across the Alps. When he died a few years later in France, the king acquired it and it became part of the French royal collection. Fast forward a couple of centuries, and after the French Revolution, it was moved to its permanent home, the Louvre, for everyone to see. And that, my friends, brings us full circle, right back to the crime that changed absolutely everything. Because here's the crazy part. Without that theft, you might never have even heard of the Mona Lisa. You have to get this. Before 1911, the Mona Lisa was not a household name. It wasn't the Mona Lisa. Sure, art lovers knew it and respected it, but it was just one of many, many masterpieces hanging in the Louvre. But then, for 2 years, she was gone. She became the world's most famous missing person. The international manhunt, the constant breathless newspaper headlines, it transformed her from a painting into a global celebrity. Her absence made her infinitely more famous than her presence ever had. Perugia was finally caught when he tried to sell the painting to an art dealer in Florence. And you know what happened? Back in Italy, he was treated like a patriot. He only served about 6 months in jail. But when the Mona Lisa finally returned to the Louvre, she was greeted by these massive crowds, like a returning Hollywood star. Her fame was now sealed, not just in paint, but in legend. And all that fame, born from this incredible mix of artistic genius and criminal notoriety, it translates into a frankly insane value today. For insurance purposes, she's valued at nearly $1 billion. It's safe to say she is priceless in every sense of the word. So all of this leaves us with one big question, right? Da Vinci's genius is undeniable, of course, but the Mona Lisa's fame is a product of so much more. It's science, it's history, and it's a crime that captured the entire world's imagination. It really makes you wonder, what's more powerful, the artistic genius itself or the incredible story that we end up telling about it?